I'm Tiffany Young with IdeateTV, and we just got out of a really super exciting panel about a new video game. And I'm with two very famous video game developers, and I'm going to let both of them introduce themselves, starting with you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Richard Garriott, better known in gaming world as Lord British. And we together created the game Shroud of the Avatar.
Interesting.
And I'm Starr, also known as Darkstarr, and my first game was a game called Ultima Online, which was one of the very first MMOs ever.
So my first question is, how did you get into gaming?
Well, interestingly, I've got just enough gray hair that I'm actually one of the first people ever to make video games. I mean, I started making games in 1974, 1975 on teletypes, mechanical typewriters with spools of paper tape as the memory. And then when the Apple II came out a few years later, I'd already written a few dozen games, and my first game called Akalabeth was sold in Ziploc bags on at a small PC store. And then I started a series of games called Ultima, which is what I'm really best known for. Ultima is still the longest running role-playing game series. Ultima Online that Starr directed still works to this day. So it started in the 80s, is operating to this day.
Wow. And how did you get into gaming?
I actually answered an ad that said video game testers wanted back in '92, and I was convinced it was not a real job, but it was, and I started working for this guy.
Oh my God, you placed the ad.
It was our ad. And so what's interesting is he joined us as a tester, which is still to this day it's actually one of the best ways in the door at a gaming studio. But this guy rose through the ranks, and within 2 or 3 years, I think you were already producing. You were already being the producer of games, and Ultima Online, the first game he produced, is also the first of our games that's in the Hall of Fame. So it's he went from greenhorn to the top of the industry in short order.
Wow. That's really exciting. I mean, that's like a dream job for a lot of people, I feel like.
You know, it is, but I think it's it all looks like fun because the end result is a lot of fun. What people don't realize, and Starr was talking about it inside there, is the making sausages part. Whether you're making it or even worse yet, if you're in QA. And when you're in QA, you are playing it starting the day that it's the most broken, and by the time it is not broken, you are sick of it. And so the results are glorious. The journey is a lot of work.
Right. I think during the panel, I realized wow, so much goes into video games, and I think a lot of people don't know all the stuff that goes behind the scenes, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. Yeah.
Right. So tell me about this new game, because it's really exciting, and I love the business model you guys were showing, everything and all the details. Tell us about it.
So our game is called Shroud of the Avatar, and one of the big selling points for us is what we call selective multiplayer, where most games you have to choose well, you don't get to choose. It's either a single player game or it's a multiplayer game. But in our game, it's both. You can play the game completely offline as a single player game like Witcher or Skyrim, or you can play it as an MMO. Or just with your friends, and you can select. There's a dial that lets you go back and forth. The other thing about it is it's a big open sandbox where you can play the life of a fighter, or you can be a craftsman making swords and selling them to other players, and it's a completely player-driven economy where players make the best gear in the game and sell it to other players.
Now, I know you both are very busy people, but in your downtime, do you play any other games besides the ones that you're working on?
Oh yeah, what's interesting is I'm actually more of a gamer in the last few years than I was in my earlier time as a developer. Interestingly, most all of my gameplay now takes place on my mobile device, just because I travel so much. But I'm playing, tower defense games and some real-time strategy games, a few role-playing games. But yeah, I play a ton of games, mostly on mobile. What's interesting is I don't really play many of our direct competitors as much. It seems you play them enough to see what's special about them, or where they're beating you, and you go, we need to do that. I at least believe, for me, and I think a lot of our development team, we take our inspiration from a wide variety of fields, not just our competitors, but other game types, movies, books, frankly, the real world around us, science, philosophy, everything.
Love
Yeah,
that.
I actually have a very strong commitment to play games every single day. So I play a game every day, whether it's on my phone or an iPad or a console on a PC. I just finished Dishonored 2. Before that, it was Fallout 4. Those are kind of the big games that I play. But I also play Hearthstone on my phone. That's my sort of go-to on my phone, like when I just need a quick pick-me-up.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you guys talking to me. Can you guys just describe your outfits really quick for anybody that doesn't know?
Yeah, well, so our characters in our games, what's interesting about the term avatar, by the way, comes from our series of games, Ultima. And we are not only the creators of the games, but our personas are in the game. So I am Lord British.
Right.
I am the champion of virtue, that people should stand and live by the virtues if they want to. We want our people to treat each other well, and so my public-facing persona as Lord British is to embody that. This guy is a little shadier.
Okay. What's this?
Yeah, so I'm all about chaos, so ultimate freedom of choice. And so not necessarily evil, but more about we don't need rules. We should be able to choose our own path.
I like that. That's deep. Well, thank you guys for talking to us, and we wish you all the luck in the world, and thank you for doing that amazing panel.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tiffany for IdeateTV.